Good day, everyone. Scribbles here. What's good? What's happening? So, as I posted earlier, I was going to make an art video today. So I thought I would get started, at least with the background. Had a lot of stuff to do, a lot of outdoor stuff. Had to clean the pool, mow the lawn, yada yada. Had a day off. Got a bunch of stuff doing. So now I'm here. It's nighttime. Time to chill. Time to do some art. Time to draw, color, have some good times. Alright. Alright, got the camera, my phone. Got the camera phone all set up. So, yes, perception is reality. That's always a good thing to remember. Difficult to grasp, but remember. Anyways, moving on. So, have this picture here. You see my feet. I'm standing up on a chair here, so I went ahead and just for a reference, I used a marker, a good old alcohol marker, and I kind of went and did around the background or around the outline of my character here. And as you can see, he's got a little bit more of his armor, got all of that going, and his big sword behind. So I think today I am going to do the background. I'm going to do the background in watercolor. I have two things of watercolor. I have those cakes. So with the sword, I'm not really sure where I'm going, but I got myself some. They're metallic cakes. A watercolor cake. So, little tiny dish, silver paint, pretty cool. Got a bunch of other colors, pretty nifty. Thought I'd use it for the touch up on the sword and his armor and areas, stuff like that. And then I have this set, which is just a metal set. Comes in a metal case. This actually has pull-out tray. Each one of these individually comes out. I purposely left most of the wrapper on there because it contains the name, number, and some other information. These are just standard Hobby Lobby Master Touch artist grade watercolor, highly pigmented colors, very vibrant. So I think I'll be using some of those. But since I'm still working out the exact colors and how I want everything to look, I'm going to use gouache for my character. Now, I have several different types of gouache. I've been debating on it, which ones to use. I have this newer brand, Niji, artist grade gouache. It's pretty nifty. It's got a built-in tray, but got this big jar. it does not come out. You got take a little bit of it. A little bit goes a long way. Very highly pigmented stuff. Worked with it only a couple times now. Seems pretty damn good. Highly recommend it. You can find it at like Michael's and stuff like that. And in fact, here's my palette. And you only need a little tiny little bitty dot. Just a little feller. Yeah, just a little feller. Goes a long way. So, I will get cleaned up. And I will get everything set up. And I will be right with you and right back. And we will get this thing rolling. Alrighty, so I'm all set up. You will not see my paint, my palette, and my water. It is off camera. I'm currently trying to figure out something to do for a different camera angle, but for now it seems decent. As long as my schnoz doesn't get in the way, it's good for everyone. So, just gonna kind of wet the paper a little bit. I am not using a proper watercolor. I am using a multimedia. It's good for watercolor, gouache, and acrylic, so it is appropriate. It's just not ideal. Which reminds me, I'm going to take a little piece of tapey tape and kind of stick it over in a couple spots, help it from any warpage or wobbling. As paper can do that when it is not how would I say, it's not appropriate, good, strong, thick, hardy paper, but it will do. It will do. So as I said before, I went ahead, kind of used a marker, went around outline the stuff. Just kind of testing some colors out. I more or less just wanted to get a light base color down. For the background. Something to just kind of help get started. Yeah, the paper's not very ideal, but it will work, it will hold somewhat. I will be covering it up with gouache, so I just more or less needed something down on the paper. Help give me an idea. Yeah, as you can see, I kind of just did something to the paper there. Just put a little color down. Not really worried about how it looks right now. Just getting some general color in. Kind of just wanted to do more or less a sky a little bit of an impression of sky. Thought about having clouds and stuff like that, since he's an angel, with a bird motif, specifically like a golden eagle. So, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to proceed with the gouache. Actually, I'm going to try out the cakey. I wasn't sure, as I said before, if I wanted to do a gold or silver. His armor is going to be more or less a gold and yellowish orange. So I just wanted to try out this color, see exactly what we're working here. Which is really weird. I'm brushing and stroking across, and it must be highly pigmented, because I did not even notice stuff was being picked up on my brush, but it's sparkly. We'll just see what type of effect that has. Can always cover it up. It's one thing I do like about gouache. It makes it real easy when you're trying to figure things out. I can see, yep, I can see some sparkliness, so we'll have to see what that looks like when it dries out. But for now, I'm going to pause it, not to be boring along. So we'll allow this to dry, and I will get the gouache setup in the meantime. I showed you the Niji set. I am not going to use that. I am just not in the mood for mixing the colors that I want. He has a slightly off range of colors, which means that I would have to do a lot of mixing. It's fine, but I'm just not in the mood right now. So I'm going to break out the bad boy. I'll show you. As you guys seen this, it had its time on the internet, in your community. Good old Maya. I've only used it once or twice. Still looks pretty damn good. I'm kind of OCD with some things, so if you notice it's very clean and not mixed together, there's a reason. That bothers me right now. It's because sometimes I put it this way, put it that way, try to put it on the same way each time. Once in a while, you know, you're human, shit happens. So I'm going to be using some of these colors and then these. So basically a diagonal of colors within this range. So I will not have to mix so much. I can use straight paint, allowing the time to be better for you and for me. Alright. Alright, just a couple more minutes. Gonna let this dry. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit. Can't really see it. As you can tell, not much warpage. Good. Sparkly, not so sparkly. You can kind of see it. I only did a one little layer. I'm assuming you're probably going to want to go over it a few times. Otherwise, yeah, you know. It's all trial and error. So as I'm saying so over and over again, I will give a little pause and wait just a few more minutes and get to work. Okay, how are we doing? We're back. 18 minutes and 40 seconds in. A little bit longer than I wanted. Don't want to make this too long. Kind of already made it longer than I wanted it. Oh well, that's what happens. Try not to talk too much. And what do you know? I got my paint over here. Selected my colors. And I'm just going to start working in on the sword. I did ink this pretty well. I'm not worried if I go over it. I will more than likely have to touch it up. just a little bit of water. One thing with gouache, depending, the majority of the time you're going to want it to flow nice and easy. You're not going to want to have it too dry where it seems almost a little harsh. Nothing wants to move, everything's built up. So, main thing with gouache is find that nice consistency that allows really good coverage, but allows you to flow and move across the paper without getting caught up. Throwing down some just base color. Just some darker base color, and then I'll work towards the light. Whoa. Alright, as you can see, I went ahead and filled some in, just to accelerate the process a little bit. So I'm just gonna add in a few other areas. And put a wrap to part one. There's just a few. I'm gonna only make a few videos for this. I've learned things from my previous videos, and I've done some shorts, so if you guys haven't already seen, for those who have not subscribe. For those who haven't subscribed and is watching this, I also make shorts, so feel free to stop on by and be entertained. Or my attempt at entertaining to the best of my abilities for right now with my limited capacities. So as I learn, as I continue to build, get some new toys, some new camera set up, stuff like that. I have not changed the brush yet. I was gonna go for a smaller brush, but I have not reached my arm far enough in order to do so yet. Not that I can't do what I want to do with this brush. It just makes it a little bit difficult when it carries too much paint, or there's too much paint in the brush that you're not expecting there to be. It will give you a surprise. You may not be able to deal with it. Also a good reason why I chose gouache. Gouache is probably one of the easiest things you can use to redo something or fix a mistake. It dries quite quick for those who don't know what gouache is. It's a happy little medium between, it's called a opaque watercolor, but it's between a watercolor and acrylic. It kind of has a little bit of properties. And then there is acrylic gouache. And depending on the brand and how much you want to reach into your pocketbooks, it can be pricey, especially for small or small-time artists who may not have the ability to be at their capacity just because they have limited resources. I would love to do some massive painting, but I am kind of a conservative when it comes to my art supplies, sorry to say. I don't like to waste. Hence why a lot of my stuff in my sketchbooks and a lot of other things that I do, I will use cheap or cheaper mediums and variations of things in my lighter work, just working with different, if I'm not being too serious. Obviously, if I was to do something more on a professional basis for somebody, the level at which I would work and the quality of the materials that I would use would obviously be different. I'm not going to waste too much of the good stuff on just random things. It would be nice if I would be able to do that. You can play around and have a little freedom to swim around like a little fish at your disposal to try and do whatever you want. Like I said, I would love to do some massive, big painting projects, but I just don't want to waste the amount of paint unless I use a different medium that's a little bit cheaper, but you can still get the quality and all the different good little things that you want in the medium that you're working with. If that makes sense. At least it made sense in my head for the moment. After it came out of my mouth, not so much. But Alright, so as you can see, I am trying to fill in the other areas. I am going to stop for the night. I'm not going to make this video any longer than it is. It's probably already hit the 30-minute mark. So, yep, actually 40. Yeah, 30 minutes and 40 seconds. So yeah, definitely been quite long. So as you can see, I'm starting to add the areas where I want. So I hope you stay tuned for part 2. If you like it, subscribe, follow, like, share, comment, all the good things. And I'll see you on the next one. It's been good. Peace. Scribble out.